everybody, this is Rose, the blogger from My Randomosity, and this is a video that was actually requested by some of my subscribers. If you've watched any of my past videos, you'll see I've done 2 e.l.f. cosmetics hauls, and I was asked to actually review the products once I've used everything, so this is what this video is. And I am calling this Volume 1 because overall I do like the line, and this is kind of like my first review video. I plan on, of course, purchasing more products in the future and doing more extensive reviews in the future. So, okay, the first 2 things I'm going to review I actually ordered off of Julep. And Julep is a third-party flash website. They hold sales that run roughly for 48 to 72 hours, I think. And their sales range on everything from makeup to jewelry to clothing to house goods. And they do include some high-end brands and also some low-end brands like e.l.f. And these 2 things, they normally retail for $5. But I believe I got them off of Julep for $3.50. And actually, Julep just had a sale earlier this week where they were selling these for $2.50. Now, the website is by invitation only, so if you're interested in them sending you an invite, I'll put a link down below. All the e.l.f. products that I'm going to show, I, of course, will have a link to their main website, which is eyeslipsface.com. If I do find these items cheaper on other websites, then I'll put those links down below also. But the first 2 things are 32 shadow palettes, and I got the warm palette and the cool palette. Now, first things I can say about these 2 palettes is that the packaging is actually not bad. It does not feel cheap. They both actually came with like the sponge tip applicators, which I ended up getting rid of. Now, this warm one is very filthy because I've done a series of videos, my e.l.f. Shadow Looks for Less, where I've created different types of shadow looks only using these eyeshadows, so I'm going to warn you that this thing is filthy. I've also dropped this, so one of the shadows has come out of place, which I'll just go ahead and take out. But yeah, the palette's holding upside down. They look like this. This is a good example of what warm eyeshadows would look like. Definitely more golden or more red, more brown earth tones or undertones. But it has the 32 shadows. And then, of course, a mirror on the top. But the first 3 things that I can say about this is that these shadows, a lot of the nude shades are basically duplicates. Like, at least on me, basically these 5 shades, these nuder type pinker shades, they basically all look the same on me. Along with that one. And then these 3 kind of nude golden shades basically look the same. But basically these shadows are mostly a matte finish. Now they do kind of have a couple of sparkle type shadows, which I'm going to swatch really quick. If you look at them, they're still not really that sparkly. They just have a light layer of glitter kind of infused with them, which I don't know if you can see that. Not very sparkly. These shadows are mostly matte. And then I think the quality of these shadows are probably along the same lines as e.l.f.'s dollar line. Now, e.l.f., they have 3 types of lines. The dollar line, which is the cheapest. Everything is about $1. And then they have the mineral line, and then the studio line, I think, is the most expensive. The mineral line, the products roughly run $3, and then I think the studio line, everything is roughly $5 and up. And I've heard recently they just created a $2 line, but I really don't know much about that. So if you want to learn about that, then you should definitely go check out the website. But yeah, I believe the grade level of these shadows is probably along the same lines as their dollar line. So they're very powdery. Some of the shades, the more highly pigmented shades, like this red, for example, they do have some fallout. But other than that, they worked perfectly fine. Now, if you watched any of my makeup tutorials, you'll see that with some of the shadows, I do go back over twice because the shadows are so powdery, they do tend to blend away. So with these shadows, you definitely don't want to over blend. But other than that, I always use an eyeshadow primer, and if you watched any of those makeup tutorials I've done, you'll see that I created some great highly pigmented looks with them. Now, I did swatch those three like golden shades with this palette. Let me swatch actually a few shades from this Cool palette. But yeah, this is the 32 Shadow Cool palette. I've not used this yet. But yeah, the only shade I've actually used in this Cool palette is this smoky grayish black shade here. But I've swatched three of them, and you can kind of see in these swatches, hopefully, just how powdery these shadows are. That's the blackish grayish shade on the top. This shade right here is the one that's in the middle. And then the green on the bottom, I believe, is this shade that's right next to the yellow. But then again, for the value, $3.50 for, or roughly $5 for 32 eyeshadows, I think it's not bad at all. Now, the next product I'm going to review are their 24K glitter glosses. And these are little sets that they normally release around the holidays. But basically, I got these 4 glosses right here. And the interesting thing about these glosses is they don't have names, they're actually numbered. But this is basically how they looked. They all have doe foot applicators, which I'll show you really quick. Yeah, just the typical doe foot applicator. Now, out of these 4, I only liked 2. And these 2 were the 2. One that I have used in one of my e.l.f. Shadow Looks for Less makeup tutorials. The second one I am going to use in a tutorial. But I have these swatched right here. Now, the 2 I do like are the 2 that are at the bottom. As you can tell, out of the 4, they're the 2 with the most pigment to them. The 2 on the top basically look sheer on my lips. And those 2... the one at the very top is this one. This one is 24101-1. The second one, which is basically a sheer color, is this one, 24101-2. And then the 2 that I actually do like are these 2. The third one is 24101-3. This is a nice kind of a bronze neutral shade, and it does show up as that on my lips. And then the last one is the most pigmented. It is the one at the bottom, and this one is 24101-4. They call them glitter glosses, but really they just really only have a slight shimmer to them. Nothing that really stands out to me. I think these would be great if you're a teenager, or if you're an adult woman and you just want lip glosses that have just, they're very sheer with just a slight pigment to them, then these would be fine with you. Again, the only 2 that actually do have good pigment are 24101-3 and 24101-4. Alright, and then the next glosses I'm going to review are from the Mineral line, and these are their mineral lip glosses. And I got a set of 5, but these are the 5. Now, out of these 5, I only really liked 3 of them. These 2 that are actually on the end. Pageant Princess creates like a really nice baby pink, and I like layering this on top of other glosses and lipsticks. And then Fierce, it actually creates a nice kind of coral color. Unfortunately, the other 3, they seem very different, but again, they look really, really sheer on my lips at least. Of course, the one on the top is Daring. And again, that color is pretty sheer, at least on my lips. Okay, the second one is Los Angeles. And it is technically the second one from the top. which does look very similar to the glitter gloss, but you know, because it was so similar to the glitter gloss, I wasn't really, you know, too keen about it. But that's Los Angeles. Now the third one I do like. It is that one. It's like a baby pink, and that is Pageant Princess, which is this one. It creates a nice frosted baby pink. I tend to layer this on top of lipsticks and other glosses. Now the next one I've actually been pronouncing wrong for, what, the last month or so. It's not Fierce, it's actually Pierce. This font is so tiny on the bottom of these tubes. But it is the fourth one, second one from the bottom, fourth one from the top, and it's this one. And it actually creates a nice corally pink type shade. And I do use this in one of the e.l.f. Shadow Looks for Less makeup tutorials that's on my channel. Now the last one is Vivid, and it's the one that's all the way at the bottom. And I don't know, it's also like a corally pink, but I don't like this one as much as I do Pierce. But yeah, I'm actually very happy that I got all these glosses in the little miniature sets, because if I would have invested in the full sizes, I probably would not have been happy to only have liked 4 out of the 9 different glosses that I got. So that's my brief review on those. They all kind of have a slightly sweet, kind of fruity taste and smell to them. As for long wear, if you eat something, if you drink anything, they're not going to stay on your lips. But you know, how much can you really expect from a lip gloss that's like roughly $3? So, but other than that, I think they work perfectly fine. Now the last 4 products I hauled recently in a mini Target e.l.f. cosmetic haul. The first thing I'll show you, I've already talked about in my July favorites video, I believe. And this is the Zit Zapper, and it has a roller ball. This contains witch hazel and 1% salicylic acid. And this little thing has worked great, even though I do have 2 ginormous planets on the side of my face, due to me neglecting my nighttime skincare routine, if you know what I mean. But this thing worked great. When I first started using this, I used this day and night. It basically dried up and healed all the pimples and cystic acne that I had on my face at that point in time. So for $1, this is a great product. And this next thing is one of their Hyper Shine lip glosses, and the color of this is Fairy. It's like this iridescent baby pink that has gold shimmer in it. And again, it has like the brush tip applicator, and you twist the bottom till it clicks. And it's very sheer, but I do wear this alone and on top of other glosses and lipsticks. It looks great, especially if you put it on the center of your bottom lip. It gives that illusion of a fuller lip. I really like these, and this was actually $1 also, which I thought was not bad. The next thing I have is their Shimmer eyeliner pencil, and this was in Iconic Ivory, and it has a little sharpener on the tip. This is basically just a white eyeliner pencil. I believe I used this in my Glam Rock e.l.f. Shadow Look for Less makeup tutorial. It's a basic white pencil that has just a slight shimmer tint to it. The shimmer is very slight, not very vivid, but you can definitely see it, but it's not anything that's too showy or anything. I do use this to line my eyes with, more on the bottom though. Normally I'll line my bottom eye with it and then line on the inside with the black, and it makes the black liner just pop a little more. But then again, this was $1 also. Now quickly, let me interrupt myself. I did not keep the packaging for those 2 gloss sets, and also the packaging for the 2 shadow palettes. So if you actually want to see the original packaging, I'll link my original haul where the outside packaging of those 4 products are visible, where you can see, because I kind of did that as an unboxing video. But let me show you really quick the packaging for the Hyper Shine lip gloss. Just simple, like this. And then this was the Shimmer pencil packaging right here. Pretty simple too. The last product I'm going to review is their translucent mattifying powder. It came in a box like this, and this is from the Studio line, so a little bit nicer packaging. And then this is the actual compact. Reminds me of NARS, except it's not kind of fuzzy like the NARS products are. But I really like the packaging. It doesn't feel cheap. It feels pretty heavy and sturdy with a really big mirror. And please excuse the sponge, because I've actually been using the sponge to blot with, but let me take it out. But here's the powder. I gotta admit, I really like this powder. I like it better than the last, or really the first drugstore translucent powder I've ever tried on myself, which was the Rimmel Stay Matte powder. I like this a lot better. I found that the Rimmel powder did not mesh well with anything that wasn't a full coverage foundation. On my face, it went on kind of splotchy when I used it with the BB cream. And yeah, and also that powder technically was not completely translucent. It did make my face slightly lighter than it normally is. But all I can say is this powder, it actually does go on my face translucent. I have it on right now on top of my foundation that I've been wearing for the last few days. That is actually a little bit warmer than my skin tone, but still I like it. But yeah, the only gripe I have about this is how little a product you actually get. The weight on this is 0.13 ounces, 3.8 grams, which is not a lot at all. But we shall see how long this will last. Again, if you're fair skinned, if you're my complexion, or maybe slightly darker, I believe this is a translucent powder that could work for you, because this literally just melts right into my skin, and it helps control my oil. I probably have to powder my face still every couple of hours, but still, for $3, it does a pretty good job. Well, this is the end of my very first e.l.f. cosmetic review. If you yourself have done your own e.l.f. cosmetic review, then leave it as a video response. Actually, I enjoy watching those, so I can get ideas of what new products that I want to purchase. Again, everything that I've shown, I'll include individually. I'll list it individually below, with links either to the e.l.f. website. Of course, if I find it for sale cheaper on a different website, I will definitely have those links there instead, so that, you know, you guys can purchase whatever you need at the most cheapest price possible. But again, this is it. Thank you so much for watching this crap. And again, this is Rose, the blogger from My Randomosity. And until next time, I will see you again soon. And I hope you have a great day. Bye!